Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Canadian Tires Motorsports Park, Mosport in Canada. It's the wild card, the anything goes round here in the Skip Barber 2K World Cup. Qualifying is almost complete with Vincent along with Jake Sperry. Whew. I'm here. Hi, Jake. We are 73 degrees, 56% race relative humidity, low wind speed of 2 miles an hour. And I've literally just turned over from one broadcast to another.
Well, unfortunate you there. You got to spend another 50 minutes with me in a commentary booth. But let bygones be bygones. It's been a fantastic qualifying. The grid is all set. Everyone is done. And we have ourselves some familiar faces towards the top.
Yeah, let's run you through then your starting grid for this event. It is going to be the driver of Mikko Näsi on pole position here today. We've not seen Mikko Näsi on pole position in a while. 1 minute 31.192. Johnny Gwindy in P number 2 as Philippe Leber in 3rd place and Andrew Picorio in that 4th position. We cycle on back and we'll show the grid up here on the screen. Well, actually, Jake, Mikko Näsi pole position, his first, and I think a number of years.
Well, Mikko Näsi won the championship, I believe, last year when we were looking at that big broadcast, his major battles with De Freitas and Leber towards the end of the season. But for Mikko Näsi to be on pole position, it's his first one of the season. I believe he's only raced 2. But even bigger news, championship leader on drop week, Sebastian Job, well, he's nowhere to be found.
Yeah, and that will help make this championship a little bit more exciting, as we can see 34 drivers there on your grid here today. We will get the drivers up on the starting grid right now for you. There's only going to be a couple of moments until they head themselves and they will go green flag racing here this evening. He says, if you can actually find a driver, there we are. Make sure we got our cameras working. We do apologize then for the late start to this afternoon's broadcast. Oh, well, we are here at Racesport TV. It's a triple header. It's a Super Sunday. We just had ourselves the Classic IndyCar Series. We will get interviews of that for those of you wondering what happened to that broadcast up for you on YouTube very shortly. We've got the Apex Elite IndyCar Series coming up for you soon as well. But Jake, talk us through the start of this round number 6 of the 2K World Cup.
Yes, and it's going to be a difficult start. One of the highest paces that we are going to see in terms of average speed. Overall, it's going to be about Näsi at the front. Has the inside line to turn number 1, so drivers like Johnny Gwindy and also Andrew Picorio with a great qualifying time up into 4th position will be some of those drivers left to watch. Näsi up then onto the grid on the inside, looking at maybe a good opportunity then to prove his worth as well. We're just waiting now for the final get-goes right now. Engine notes now will start to rev up here as 27 laps of racing and 1 pit stop being required gets underway, and let's get ourselves going. A good start then for Mikko Näsi. He leaves his man hanging in the dust side by side. It's going to be a little bit lacking here as it's going to be single file in through turn number 1, and the run towards turn number 2 is going to be the one that's going to be so crucial. Picorio all over the back of the driver of Philippe Leber into this fast turn number 2 at 150 kilometers an hour, and it's line astern as things stand for the moment. Will no real changes in position. Yeah, and also no one actually went off there down at turn number 2, which is what I was expecting to potentially happen. Very clean start to this motor race, especially considering the fact that these drivers didn't know what was going to be the track of choice until literally an hour before the broadcast started. So these guys have had very little time to adapt to this race. Yes, they have, as they now come through the Moss corner here. This difficult uphill off-camber right-hander, and now onto this lovely back straight, the Mario Andretti straightaway, where drafting becomes a big premium and the prime overtaking opportunity. Clayton Corner normally catches out a lot of people, but today it hasn't in the opening laps. But train of 4 at the front of the field. Näsi under pressure. Here comes Johnny Gwindy, and now 3 wide down the middle. Mr. 2K World Cup Leber has something to prove as he makes his way up to the race lead.
Yeah, and you've got two wide racing going on down in the middle pack of your field as well. Lots of racing going on all over the place, but Philippe Labeur leads this motor race as they exit the final corner to complete lap number 1. Live timing and scoring is available, ladies and gentlemen. Just visit racewatch.tv/time. You can also get social with us on Facebook and Twitter using the links you can see up on your screen. So, Philippe Labeur leads away right now. Johnny Gwindy behind him in second place. Teammates battling for 1 and 2 right now. But down in your pack, we saw a lot of drafting there down towards the final 3-4 corners of this racetrack. And actually, we've got Paul Malocas losing a position to Kurt Crum. That's for P number 9.
Yeah, and Paul Malocas has been struggling then in the early goings, hasn't been able to get through. Has a chance to get back actually at Kurt Crum, who is himself up a couple of positions already in this event. Dakota Fripp behind as well. The Venaval Sim Racing driver always there or thereabouts inside of a Skip Barber as they round Moss Corner and make that run down the field. This is the back of the train. Bill Fraser makes the jump or makes the gap between himself and Bastian Hausmann in position number 13 overall. But yet again, it's going to be a draft fest. Tom Ward looking at Procurio for position number 4, but at the front again, it's going to be the same old theme as Miko Nasi will try to get to the front compared to Philippe Labeur, but it's Johnny Gwindy going side by side, taking that position, and Tom Ward going around the outside at turn number 9 and getting, well, turn number 8 even, and getting the position of Procurio. Tom Ward, he is notoriously fast around here, Will, and as we know, between himself and Labeur, bump draft gate last time we were here.
Yep. And we've also got to remember, for the viewers wondering, oh, why are we not getting excited about lead changes? We expect them at least 27 times in this event here today, Jake. You see, the last broadcast, I spent the entire time talking about Jake. This time I'm talking about Jack, so I've got 2 used now saying Jack and Jake, Jack and Jake, Jack and Jake. But we expect at least 27 different lead changes here today.
Yeah, we certainly do. One pit stop as well is going to be crucial. Huge wiggly moment, though, for Johnny Gwindy through Quebec corner. So he is starting to struggle a little bit in the early goings. Not on tyres, but that was just about the sheer amount of pressure that's behind him. But these guys are all the top of the Skip Barber community. They know what pressure is, and they ooze it. And there's a little contact between Nasi and Labeur. 1 touch, 2 touch, red touch, blue touch. They hold it together, but keep an eye on that left rear of Philippe Labeur. And if there is any damage on the rear wing of his vehicle there, Will, because there was a little bit of contact and there is damage. There's a small bend on the rear wing. Labeur's down on power. Yeah, he is. On a track like this as well, he might try and get that repaired on pit stops, but that will hurt him substantially, as he's now got Miko Nasi trying to go down to his inside as they come, well, outside even, as they come down to the final 3 corners of this racetrack. It's a right, then a left, then a right, and Labeur there gets past by the driver of, I believe that is Johnny Gwindy, but Labeur has been hit 3 times in 2 corners. Yeah, and that's Miko Nasi trying to make that move around and does so. A little bit of contact between 2, and Labeur will not be happy about that. The damage will always pull him back, and when top speed is so important, it's going to make him lacking the most. As now Tom Ward, oh hello, let's get ourselves a little replay. The last time we were here, we'll now try and make our way through in towards that corner of Clayton's corner. Turn number 2 on circuit. Behind that, De Freighter and Tuan Tran going through. And what a season Tuan Tran's been having, Will. He's been up there fighting for top 10s, top 5s every single time this season when he was notoriously known as a midfield driver.
Yeah, I'd actually call this Tuan Tran's the best ever 2K World Cup. And we always see one driver a year who actually just makes his way up from the mid-pack up to the top 10. This is Tuan Tran's year to do so, I think, and he's having a fantastic job of doing it as he works himself then down through the tight and twisty sections of this racetrack here at beautiful Mosport, the Canadian Tires Motorsport Park. But we've got ourselves, let's just say, a 27-lap race here today, Jake. And, you know, drafting is important. I'm not going to get excited over the fact that Miko Nasi and Johnny Gwindy is going to go side by side again. They're too wide, they're too deep. Let's put them onto Noah's Ark right now. But the first part of this race is gamesmanship as, oh my word, was that Johnny Gwindy almost putting himself out of the race, and Tom Ward sideways through turn number 9.
Yeah, that was, and well, Tom Ward, lucky man through the S's, heading towards White's corner, but that won't be the quickest way through. That is the difficulty that you are seeing here with these two drivers having to go at it. It allows Nasi half a second to work with, but he needs to break a second if he is to get away in this event, and that's what none of these drivers really want, as Nasi actually takes the uber wide line through Clayton's corner. That's not the advantage line that he needs to be taking. As such, he loses all the time that he had spent gaining up in the battle between him and Tom Ward. Ward is a very, very aggressive driver. He has a lot of flair for him, which is really uncharacteristic for British drivers, Will, so Tom Ward, and there is a big woo.
I'm just having a look, by the way, at the drivers who are out of this event. One driver's out. That is Stephen Stoyles, as he is out of this event. We've also got Anthony Capp, Katie Black, John Morgan, Neil Bontemps, Pascal van der Hoek, Barry Rains, Colin Van Ram, all having made pit stops in today's event. But yes, we go back to the front of your field, and you can see that is now Tom Ward versus Miko Nasi for the race lead. As they come down, actually, no, you're going to have yourself Gawindi there going at it versus the driver of Tom Ward versus the driver of Miko Nasi. 2-for-1 special. Put him up like it's a takeaway.
Yes, and he is styling and profiling his way up to the front of the field. Brilliant work from Johnny Gawindi. 2-for-1 special, certainly on offer. Nasi, though, trying to just use that cutback to his advantage. That won't happen. It was White corner contact, and that's Beccario into the tyres at White, and that's the Keselowski barrier that you can sometimes argue the big incident that happened at the end of NASCAR, I believe a year ago, but Beccario, after a very good qualifying, has a very, very abysmal end.
Yeah, let's get a replay then on board with Beccario. That's our first big major driver out of this event today. As I'm trying to understand how this happened to him. Did he get hit? Or did he... Oh, yeah, he hit the driver in front, tried to avoid him, then smacked the tyre barriers, went almost 90 degrees perpendicular to the racetrack. Andrew Beccario from New York. And again, Beccario is one of these drivers that we've been talking more and more about in 2K World Cup action, but his race is over.
Yes, and that's crucial. You've got to finish a race if you want to be talked about more and more and built up as one of those really good drivers. And for Beccario, that is going to be what he needs to work on, is being able to actually finish some of these events. Your top 5 sees Arjen de Freitas and Philippe Lebert 4th and 5th right now. Tom Ward, Miko Nasi and Johnny Gawindi. Any field that you see these 5 at the front of, you think, oh my word, I don't want to face any single one of them. But right now, you got people like Greg Seitz down in 18th position. 3 wide, they'll go at the front, turns to 2 wide. Tom Ward looks at the inside. Nasi will take 1, but now it's the fight between Ward and Gawindi here, and Gawindi gets the tail out a little bit there through turn number 8 of the S's, now into 9, and it's going to lose that position overall. Tom Ward back up to the point in second.
Yeah, and Johnny Gawindi, I mean, the 2 teammates there of Gawindi and Lebert have got damage at pretty much there, Jake, exactly the same part of their car.
Well, it means that they are going to both be feeding each other in the same boat as they're side by side a little bit behind. Tuan Tran and Dakota Fripp. Fripp is just flying through the field in the Vendaval sim racing machine. Outside line at Clayton's, tries to tuck back in there. Bit of room given by Brian Dow. Just behind him there, the Canadian driver of Positive Sim Racing. But right now, you have to say, Johnny Gawindi and Philippe Lebert, both with that damage, both going to be hampered, and you can see that there. Gawindi running wide, and that allows Lebert then to jump up into position number 3, and now Arjen de Freitas thinks position number 4 is easy, but look at the teamwork between the 2 of them, boxing the man on the outside, and Arjen de Freitas with nowhere to go, but now up the inside at Moss, and he can't do it.
You know what? We've seen this before, actually, between the Positive Sim Racing drivers, boxing drivers in. We've seen that a number of times before, and this is a track where having a teammate around you could well be beneficiary. As we have a look then from our aerial coverage brought to you by And1 Design, the official graphics partner of Racesport TV, and there's Tom Ward on the outside, and Miko Nasi going to the race lead. Nice and easy there into turn number 8. He's got that one done without too many issues, as then we've got ourselves also the likes of Turan Tran versus Arjen de Freitas. And again, you know, a year ago, would we ever say Turan Tran was battling with Arjen de Freitas for P number 5? I'd say no. Turan Tran, I would say, most improved driver in this series in the last 6 months.
Exactly, and he's been doing such a good job of just working it every single skip up race he can get his hands on, be it here on Racesport TV or elsewhere. He has been on it, and he's been working.
Wait, you mean his other broadcasters?
Oh, we don't talk about those, Will. It's just one of those things that we do. But right now, he's holding himself there, position number 6, looking at position number 5 at De Freitas, not able to make the move. Maybe into Quebec, he has a half chance, but it's not often you get it. And again, Gwindi running wide out of that corner of Quebec. He's really struggling there right now here, Will, to deal with it. And now again, on the outside is Aaron De Freitas. Better run this time. Traffic in front as well in the form of Anthony Cat for all your leaders to get past. De Freitas down to the inside, and he shoves the man wide. One line suits all, and that's 1 position, 2 positions. Dakota Frick touches him.
Yeah, we can just see there one of the drivers. That was Dakota Frick over Johnny Gwindi there. Johnny Gwindi is still in the motor race, but he did get 2 wheels airborne there. And I always worry at tracks like this, you know, you always say that, oh, it's just a minor touch. It's not just a minor touch, because the straight line speed comes down the Mario Andretti straightaway, and if you cannot make that car work down that section, then it's always going to be a bad thing. And in terms of this one, I would not put blame there on Johnny Gwindi. You can see the 2 right wheels there being lifted up in the air. That was not his doing at all. And Gwindi now down to P number 9 as a consequence.
Yes, and Dakota Frick's been very aggressive down into that corner, Will. He likes making those overtakes. He's made 2 positions already down there, and he took a 3rd at the opportunity of Johnny Gwindi. Now, that bit of contact will be reviewed by the stewards if Gwindi feels that it was something that has given him a disadvantage. Actually, in front, that's Casey Black running off at Clayton's corner. Can he hold it together? Yes, he can, out of the barriers. That also lets through all the traffic, and the train goes through, but the train is breaking up right now. It's a train of 5, and even Tran is struggling to get down the platform to get onto the last carriage.
Yeah, you know what? That was the sort of thing that I was thinking. If you come back on track at this point, it's going to be a 10-car pileup. Very, very lucky there, because the thing is, what people don't realise, it's so slippery on the grass here at Mosport that if you do go off, you cannot control that car.
No, you can't, and it's all off camber, off of the circuit as well. So even if you do manage to gather it up together, you're always turning against the gradients of the hills to get back on circuit, which makes life so much more difficult. Tom Ward, though, looking to work again with Miko Nasi at the front of the field. He gets himself then down to the inside and takes the point. Bear thinks he can have Miko Nasi down the inside as well. He backs out of it for a better opportunity. And of course, you've got the reigning champion in Aaron De Freitas in 4th position, thinking, if any of these lot come together, I've got a great chance of a victory here right now.
Look, we're away from WWE Super Slam, so you've got to think that it's the reigning, defending, undisputed champion, Aaron De Freitas, but he is still in the 4th place, as we've been talking about. Here are your movers and shakers in the event so far, and here you can see Tom Ward up 5 places here today. Well, we expect big movements, but Johnny Gwindi down 7. That is, of course, down to the incidents he had earlier on, the damage to his rear wing, potentially damage to his suspension.
Yes, and that is really hurting as he actually goes defensive against Bill Fraser up into Quebec corner there. So he is struggling. And Will, I did not know your name was Paul Heyman.
But I'm a Paul Heyman guy.
Well, fair play.
There we are. Tom Ward leads this motor race right now over Miko Nasi. Philippe Labert in 3rd. Aaron De Freitas in 4th, and Turan still rounds out your top 5. The top 5 have broken away a little bit. We've got incident. Bill Fraser, turn around. Down at, that's turn number 3.
No, that's down at the Moss hairpin as well. A vehicle went off just ahead, and that was Brian Duell. So Duell had that big issue, and that was Gwindi actually running into the back of Fraser, getting too aggressive on the power. And when one incident happens, you're more liable to cause another one. 2 separate incidents there, Will, with 2 different drivers. Yeah,
we've got a replay up for you now. That was indeed the Moss hairpin. And just a rear end tag there means that the driver of Bill Fraser is going to be classified way down your field. And we know what Bill Fraser's like. He's not one to mince his words, and he will not be happy about that right now. Down into P number 17.
Yes, and he will be hoping for a little bit of redemption. The good news for him, though, is the pit stop window is around about now, Will, on a 27-lap race. We're on lap 11 of the event for your leaders here, and this is about the time you think, you know what, I can come in, get a fuel tank, a full tank of fuel, shall I say, instead of a fuel tank of full, and get yourself then over to the end of this race on that 1 tank of fuel that you're getting. But this is the thing, if you are in that train, that top 5, you've got to know exactly where when you need to come down in, when you need to pit, and who's coming with you. De Freitas now on the inside for turn number 4, looking at turn number 5 at the Moss corner. And well, for now, he's not going to be able to make that happen, but they have disrupted the flow a little bit here. And again, a good run from Barber leaves in the dust the driver at De Freitas.
This has allowed also Dakota Fripp to start closing up a little bit. He's about 1.2 seconds back, and actually, if these drivers keep on battling out, it will make this 5-car train more of a 10-car train. Although Dakota Fripp is running pretty much in no man's land right now. Now we turn our attention to him for the moment in the number 128 machine. Very simple black and carbon car there for Dakota Fripp, but he is hoping right now that these drivers don't all come in at the same time, so he has a dance partner later on.
Yes, and that's crucial for Dakota Fripp, because although it is a track where you want a hot lap as quickly as you can, you do want someone there to use the draft on what is a very, very long back straight, and Mario Andretti straightaway will, because of the fact that you can gain upwards of half a second a lap by just having that draft alone. Traffic for your leading 5, though, that's John Morgan. I believe that's the same John Morgan, Will, that we see in the 60-plus Racing Adventure, so if that is a 60-plus John Morgan, that is a very, very good achievement to still be going at your age.
God, yes, indeed. And we always talk about sim racing, and I think actually things like World's Fastest Gamer, like GT Academy, like what we saw with the E-Prix, shows the amount of not only mental determination, but also physical determination for these drivers. You know, you're a sim racer, you aren't running, you know, you're not playing on a gamepad, you are running on a steering wheel. And, you know, Jake, I have been in races before when I've come out dripping of sweat, t-shirt a different color almost, and you know, that's the thing, you know, physical sim racing is hard, and to be 60 years old and still be doing this sort of thing is incredible. As Philippe Barber goes versus Tom Ward, no, he doesn't. He's got Miko Nassi versus Tom Ward, and Miko Nassi goes to the top of the timing stands once again. More lap traffic ahead of them, though. Lap number 12 or 17. Lap traffic comes on towards pit road. Philippe Barber comes on towards pit road. Almost hits the driver of the lap traffic there.
Wow, and he almost clipped the retaining wall tyres as well. Barber has just pulled off the great move on a one-track pit road down in. He made it too wide, Will. Fantastic, but that's the sort of gamble Barber is willing to take when he's got nothing to lose already in this championship. He hits his lane, Morgan in front of him as well. So Philippe Barber, he will get his fuel. He'll hope to get back out again. No tyres on that vehicle. Those tyres are so chunky that they make even an Oreo look like they're quite tiny. So gets himself out and away, and crucially enough, Will, he's in clean air.
Yes, which is a blessing and a curse at Mosport. If you're in traffic, of course, you can use a draft to your advantage, only at certain sections of the racetrack, of course, however. But Philippe Barber has got clean air, and he will have, I would say, for at least the next lap or so. Now it's going to be a case of who is going to react as a consequence of this. Miko Nassi leads from Tom Ward, leads from Aaron De Freitas, leads from Turan, side by side. Tom Ward down to the inside. Once again, will any of these drivers coming towards pit road this time by, as Tom Ward will cycle through to the race lead as they come down in towards turn number 8. In towards turn number 9, they will come. And will Tom Ward decide to counter? Tom Ward doesn't look like he's doing so. Miko Nassi certainly isn't doing so. Drivers behind them, no one in the top 5.
No one wants to go in, but Kurt Crum in, Paul Malocas in, and Johnny Gowindi came in early as well, even earlier than Philippe Barber. So already we've seen some pit stops decide to come in on lap 11, so lap 13. Paul Malocas now known for going long on the fuel, so surprising. Crum also in, having a very good run, was up in 7th position when he crossed the line. So there are some very, very quick drivers here in the middle of your pack at the moment. And well, you have to say, good job right now, but it's all about those battles going on at the front of the field. Train of 4 and Tom Ward holding the advantage.
Out of pit road, Kurt Crum comes out right behind Paul Malocas as they head themselves now down on the exit of 1 in towards turn number 2. And these drivers, well, they do get a little bit of traffic, and that will be an interesting thing for them. But out front, Tom Ward, Miko Nassi again, the same story, different lap. as Mikko Nassi will get the draft over the driver of Tom Ward. You'll notice how Tom Ward will not defend just yet. He'll allow Mikko Nassi to go past, because actually that's the fastest way to do this. Is hello, let's go 3 wide. Hello, Iron Defrator. Welcome to the battle for the race lead on the outside. Doesn't get the race lead, will get second place, however.
Yes, and that's a good move from Defrator. He gets track position now, thinking about when he's coming. Nassi decides to bite the bullet. Ward will follow him straight in. So Tom Ward wants to cover Nassi as they both hit the marker and now look to go through. Also in is Neil Bontum's a lap down now that he will be classed as Defrator. Now has to hit the hammer and push. Tran going with him. Dakota Fripp still out as well. Leibert, in comparison to these two, right now is rounding himself with a little bit of traffic behind him. Anthony Cat through turn number 9, now looking for White's corner of turn number 10. This is where Precario had his incident, and he just misses the apex slightly, runs off wide there actually, does Leibert, and that's going to hurt him. Nassi and also Tom Ward away. The advantage though will be on pace for Leibert, and even despite that mistake, Will, he is going to get himself to the front of the train.
Just, literally just in towards turn number 2. As it will be Philippe Leibert who leads. But the thing is, Leibert, as a consequence of making that incident, does not get the advantage of clean air like he was hoping for. So it is now going to be a 3-race battle, at least there, between the drivers of Philippe Leibert, Mikko Nassi, Tom Ward. Iron Defrator, of course, as yet coming towards pit road. He's got Tran right behind him. You know what? Tran can win this motor race. Calling it now.
Yes, he can, but he's got to rely on his pace and his abilities. He's got to make his way through the field. He can't be content with sitting on the back and waiting here on lap 15 of the event. He takes the wide line, he goes in, he covers it now, and lets Defrator go on his own. So Tran needs to get on that train, needs to get to the front of that train. He's given all the pressure to Defrator. Defrator's now man against machine. Tran now is looking for the pack.
So Tran comes on towards pit road. Stops nicely in his pit stall there. His in-lap was a 135.4. Having a look at Philippe Leibert. Actually, you know what? Tran's in-lap was faster than Brian Dewell, faster than Dakota Fripps, and he does come out at a reasonable time, so he might actually come out in a good position. Here comes Tran, and actually, I think this is going to be a fantastic pit stop there for Tran. He comes out P number 2. The drivers are behind him.
Unbelievable stint from Tran, and now Defrator is the man of the moment, because if he gets a stunning stop as he comes down in, he will be able to break away with Tran, and it's a 2-car scrap for the win. But watch out on the fuel number of the 777, Will, because if Tran has gone light on the fuel, as I suspect he may have, he will need the help of Defrator from now to the end of the race.
Yeah, so on board of Iron Defrator, lap number 16 of 27. He has not yet come on towards pit road. The graphic is ready and waiting for him to do so this time by lap number 16 of 27. Sunday night skippies here on Mosport TV and on iRacing Live, and Iron Defrator comes in. There's slow traffic ahead of him. Let's not remember, it's not just Iron Defrator who's lost out today because of the lap traffic. So did Philippe Leibert.
Yes, Leibert lost it because of John Morgan in front of him. Casey Black, though, was a little bit slow onto pit road. That would have worried the driver of Defrator. It's one track down to the lane, but he just managed to get away with it. Tran, though, rounds himself through turn number 9, looking for turn number 10 of White's corner, and the longer that he goes, does Iron Defrator, the less fuel that he has to put in. Tran now looks to cross the stripe there, and look who gets away. It's Iron Defrator away, but look who's going straight past. Tran straight past, and there's going to be a second because Tran has the outright net lead, and Defrator now has to work doubly hard to get within 1 second. He's the bridge between the worlds.
And the thing is, for Iron Defrator, he did a 13.2 second pit stop. The same as Philippe Leibert. Tran did 11.5 second pit stop. So all of a sudden, we're in a situation where the 777 machine, we've been hyping him up for the first part of this broadcast, he leads the way here on Mosport TV and on iRacing Live. We'll step aside. We'll be back with the conclusion of this fantastic event after this message.
Defrator's off! freighter's off, sorry. The freighter's off, and he's lost positions, 1 position, 2 position. Big mistake, pushing way too hard.
And let's have a replay then for Arian de Freighter on board of him before we go to commercial. Here we are, have a look. If we can find Arian de Freighter. Our replay doesn't seem to be working. We will get that working for you now. Let's have a look back. Here's Arian de Freighter. Hopefully, we're going to find him now. We're on board of Arian de Freighter. And for Arian de Freighter, he seemed to be chasing Turan, works himself through turn number 4, and then just gets loose on the entry into the Moss hairpin. Let's have a listen in. Oh, he hits the rumble strip. That's what unsettles the car the first time. Then he just pushes wide as a consequence into the Moss hairpin there, Jake.
Yeah, and that's a huge thing for De Freighter. He's now back of the train, got to do all the work. 1.3 between Nasi and Tran. He will get the edges, the very fringes of the draft, but Tran now has got to be careful. If his 1 lap pace isn't good enough, Nasi will close up, Leibert will close up. There are 3 former champions in that pack behind him.
Well, ultimate opportunity then for Tran to win this motor race. We will step aside, but we'll take you Racesport TV side by side.
Watch journey, go. Car right. Watch him. Damn it! Get ready. Dude, blow heads up in that. Jeez!
Right on the back wing. Can he make it happen?
Yeah! Push like hell. We gotta stay in front of these guys.
Drivers on the push to pass. Contact in the pit lane.
All right, 60. Let that eagle fly. What do I do? What happened? Push here. Push hard. Let's go get this guy. Car outside. Through behind you. Control. Clear outside. Good job. Just spun behind you. I don't know if you got him or not.
He got out of it so hard. Look at these guys are all over the back.
Full throttle.
IndyCar. The in and out lap. What's next?
Come and get the checkers, big boy. Oh, baby, that was good. He hit me. Inside, outside.
2017 Verizon IndyCar Series. See what's next.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Racesport TV, and Turan has been caught here, Jake. So, game on. Actually, I can't say game on because there's a certain thing called that I'm not allowed to talk about.
Yeah, it certainly is, and Tran will let the lead go now to Mikko Nasi. He needs to save fuel. I think that's the number. He's not safe on it, so he's dropped back into this pack now to try and work. If he's not careful, he's now going to get swallowed up into the abyss, and Tran now plays defense game to Philippe Leibert onto the brakes. Ward will go around the outside of him, though. You can't defend every driver, and Tran is finding this one out the hard way now. Into the left-hander. Ward, oh, he hits Nasi even down in towards turn number 9. Ward's flare, that came back to bite him. He's been very aggressive through that corner, and Leibert's door is shut.
Yep, so here we are then with 7 laps to go. 5 drivers in position to potentially win the... You know what? Last time we had 5 drivers with a chance to win the race. You know what happened at Watkins Glen?
We had, I believe we actually had even better of a chance of Road America, Will. 3 drivers split by 28 thousandths of a second.
I was thinking about the pandemonium when drivers crashed into each other.
Oh, yes. That was 6 drivers trying to go 3 wide, 2 deep.
Yep. And this is more of a better track for drafting than Road America. So I'm going to say right now, these drivers need to remember their spatial awareness, because also, I'm afraid to pull my locus. We will keep a part of an eye on them and their battle too. Brian Dewell, Johnny Gwindy, they are MP number 8 and 9 right now. These drivers could still come back into it if they start fighting too much out front. Remember what we saw, of course, in the last round of the championship, what we saw, of course, when we did the takeover on Monday Night Skippies.
Yeah, exactly. We saw them play chicken for 3 seconds, but with 5 drivers, I doubt they'll do that. 3 wide, though, down the straight here on lap 20 of the event, and it's Tom Ward with the advantage. Tran on the outside, hoping to not make it through. Leibert tries to thread the needle, but the door firmly shut. They don't want Leibert getting involved at all. The reigning champion at the back of the train. Tran down to the inside, and he decides no, he can't make it happen. Nasi doing very well, and now they're all just starting to struggle on the tyres, sliding a bit too much here today, Will, as now Tom Ward suddenly out of nowhere has himself a 6/10 gap.
Yeah, down your field a little bit, you got yourself Robert Plumley. Robert Plumley, of course, we normally see him on Monday nights. He's kind of emigrated over to Sunday nights right now. He's in P number 11, fighting out with David McDonald there in a very beautiful number 214 machine. Actually, I will say that 214 machine, my favourite on this series right now.
Well, say, can't you see by the Dawn's early lies there, David McDonald has really got a nice livery on him as he looks to get past Robert Plumley in towards turn number 2. That's not going to happen, but right now, you have to say, all focus here, side by side. That's Kurt Crum, I believe, battling with Paul Malokas here for position number 6 overall, and Kurt Crum's having a very, very good day of his own, but the gap for Ward has completely been shut down. He ran wide through the Moss corner, slightly too aggressive on the curb on the exit, and look at that, Andretti straight away. So paramount it is to this race.
Leroy Coppage came on towards pit road, retired his car, as you can see on your screen right now. So that's one driver out, but Mika Nasi, Tom Ward again, side by side. Nasi has the advantage for the moment, but behind, more battles going on, because you got yourself Tran versus Philippe Leibert. Leibert has the advantage for the time being, and actually, Iron the Freighter right now might get himself a run over the driver of Tran.
He's thinking about it, but he's trying to just position Tran out of position here, you could say. Let's say position as many times as you can in a sentence. The inexperience of Tran at this highest level, battling with these drivers, this is a very tough learning curve for the 777. He's got to learn on the fly about how he needs to battle with these drivers and get back to the front. He's got to be at least in position 3 on the last lap to stand a very realistic chance of winning this race, and Tran in P4 will not be very happy of where he was after being 1.3 seconds clear.
Yeah, indeed. So Johnny Gwindi, by the way, versus Brian Duell, they are scrapping it out for position, and Gwindi and Duell have had many a battle over the years that we've been commentating on the 2K World Cup. And let's not forget, actually, let's give a shout out to the 2K World Cup, the longest continuous broadcast series here on RaceSpot TV. I feel like I'm doing a Michael Cole right now.
Michael Cole, yes, and well, get the oh my's ready in a moment, because we're certainly going to get ourselves a very, very good battle going on here in this train. You got Nasi, Ward, Leibert, you got Tran, Iron de Freighter all there, and behind that, Crum, Malokas, Duell, and Gwindi split by Leroy Coppage as well in the middle. So Crum going side by side, 3 wide though at the front, 2 wide behind. Ward there as Nasi decides to back out of it. Ward's got the outside, Leibert on the inside turns to the outside. That's not going to help, as also De Freighter stuck on the outside, which will turn to the inside, and there's not much that Tran can do. Bumped ceremoniously from front to the back of the train in the space of about 4 laps, Will.
From the top to the bottom to top at stop, as Tom Ward then leads the motor race right now with 5 laps to go, as Tom Ward leads from Philippe Leibert, Mika Nasi in 3rd. Actually, from Mika Nasi, I just stop what I'm doing right now. Wait till 4 laps of laps and then go for it.
Exactly. He's got to get track position, and you want to come at it from behind on the final lap of this race. And with those 5 laps to go that we've got going on, 4 when they looked across the line, it's about who works it, who gets the best momentum. And already Philippe Leibert is thinking, I've got a good chance against Tom Ward now into the Moss hairpin. He's going to back out of it. There's no point of going at it from 4 in towards 5 unless your name happens to be Dakota Fripp, who, by the way, segue, he's out of the event. But now Leibert just needs to work on it. He knows that Nasi will like to control the race from the front. He does that quite a bit, but Leibert, he's got this advantage, and that is very, very crucial in the draft. He moves to the inside, and you know what? Side by side we'll go.
Yeah, we'll do the same thing we've done so many times here today. Philippe Leibert goes to the top of the timing stands for the moment. Mika Nasi then versus the driver of Tom Ward. Mika Nasi round the outside in towards turn number 9. That is a setup. It's working out if you can do it on the final lap there. And you know what? He's done a good job. Actually, we want to... you know what he wanted to do was cross over, but he didn't. And I think otherwise we'd have a perfect indication of what would happen if you're P number 3 coming to the white flag lap here. They do, and Nassi slows down as consequence there on the outside. Iron De Freighter tries to go, but I don't think that'll be an issue. I think these will regroup once again.
Wow, Nassi with a little bit of contact with Tom Ward. Any other driver makes a pig's ear out of it, Will, and slams it over to the left-hand side barriers at turn number 1. Not Mikko Nassi. He is way more experienced, and he controlled that as if there was nothing else in the world that meant anything else to happen for him. What a brilliant response from Mikko Nassi, and as a consequence, to use the Willism right now, he is now in this event still and has a great chance of winning.
He has indeed, and I think they had more restraint than 2 18-year-old teenagers in Gatecrasher at 3 o'clock in the morning. But here we are then with 3 and a bit laps to go. Tom Ward versus Felipe Burr as they head themselves then down the Mario Andretti straightaway, as this is where the champions are made. 3 wide once again, and Mikko Nassi can't do it. Tom Ward can. He moves to the race lead.
He can, and that's crucial for Tom Ward. He knows now that he's got control, and with 4 laps to go, turning to 3 laps to go, he will have this with 2 laps to go, turning to 1 lap to go. Bear runs wide on the exit yet again, joins back up on circuit, and now they're going to go 3 wide into turn number 1. De Freighter had a look, he backs out of it as Nassi goes down to the inside, and still off of the train is Felipe Bear. Again, De Freighter now to the outside, looking at Clayton's corner, turn number 2. That's not going to work there. It's the one-line suits all, and now trying on the outside on the run towards Quebec. And at Quebec, can he hold it around the outside? He's trying it, but he's going to get hung out to dry by the driver of Iron De Freighter. Train of 5, and another small little gap for the driver of Tom Ward.
Doesn't matter in this type of motor race, because it's going to be dragged back into play instantaneously there. Tran, by the way, I've got a feeling either Tran or Tom Ward will win this motor race.
But that's a big thing to say as Tom Ward at the front of the field tries to break away. You got the driver of Tran just waiting for the right moment, trying to save the numbers on the fuel. So it is going to be a case of he's not banking here. Is my co-commentator here? Or sorry, I'm the co-commentator to him. Let's get that one very much sorted out there. He's not banking on the 3 champions getting a win here. So that's very big. He's either relying on the Monday Night Skippy man or the man who hasn't got a race win in this series yet. Side by side though, De Freighter and also Bear, and they're going to stay side by side. Off the train you go, Bear. Big slide through turn number 9, and that's going to bump him side by side, and now they're losing touch.
Yes, and that means that it's currently a 2-horse race as we come down to 3 laps to go. Every corner these guys will battle, they will lose time right now. We see this so often on Sunday and Monday Night Skippies as Iron De Freighter pushes wide through turn number 1, and that's going to mean these guys right now are 1 second behind Tom Ward. Felipe Burr sideways, wiggle. Felipe Burr, his chance of winning is gone.
It is, with 2 laps to go. He's too far back, and there's no chance that he can get himself back through unless they all come together and the 2 of Ward and Nassi decide to play the game of chicken. And remember who played that game of chicken at Road America? Oh yes, it was Tom Ward on Monday Night Skippies who was part of that one. So it's not out of the realms of possibility for Tran and also for De Freighter. Again, wide off the exit is that driver of Tom Ward. He wants to be second heading through, and I wonder now if Mikko Nassi waits behind on this lap only to make sure that he is not leading on this final lap. I stand corrected. He moves to the outside and wants to control this one from the front here, Will. And you know what? Tom Ward very graciously lets him.
That's the most gracious pass I think I've seen in the history of sim racing, because we all know it's not going to be where you are with 2 laps to go. It's where you're going to be when the white flag comes out. You're going to be in P number 2. They are still 1.2 seconds ahead of Tran as they enter the final corner for the penultimate time. White flag out then, Jake. Here we go. Tom Ward versus Mikko Nassi.
Tom Ward versus Mikko Nasi, and it's all about who can control their nerves, who has that one magic thing. Through turn number 1, they have just managed to make themselves go. Clayton corner of turn number 2. It's about setup through this corner. So difficult. A small bump as well. It's so easy to lose a Skip Barber down there, but nothing going at the moment. It's 1.3 seconds towards the back of the driver of Tuan Tran, and right now you'd feel here that there is an opportunity knocking for that driver of Tom Ward if he gets that good run, and maybe Nasty lets him go here to give himself the best run coming out, but he can't afford to do too much. No giving of positions at all in towards Moss. He may try and hold him up to get himself back going, but look at this. The run is going to be there right now. Here comes Tom Ward as he needs to get inside the draft, and Tuan Tran, he will get the fringes, but the fringes are not enough, as it will be the drivers of De Freitas and Leibert looking for the podium. Ward's waiting, little bit more to the outside. He tries and looks for the way to go through. Can he get the way to go through? Yes, he can on the outside. Nasty's not going to let him. He gets the big slide. Now Ward gets the big slide. Now they sort themselves out for turn number 9, and Will, I think we got a winner.
Oh, no, we haven't yet. Mikko Nasi, final corner, final lap.
Leibert and De Freitas too.
Mikko Nasi is going to win it. Controversial finish here at Mosport, like we often had last time Tom Ward was involved. This time, Tom Ward is involved, but it's Mikko Nasi who wins out here at Mosport in controversial fashion. Replay. Let's have a look then from our aerial coverage as they head themselves down. We were looking at it live, and I just want to zoom it in here and have a look at these two drivers. There is Mikko Nasi. There is that front nose cone versus the right rear of the driver of Tom Ward. The two then just come together, and at that point, Tom Ward is turned around. Mikko Nasi wins here at Mosport.
Yes, and that is a big turnaround. Look at the incident behind as well, Will, because both De Freitas and Leibert also get involved. De Freitas was on the inside, tracking out a little bit. Leibert was trying to shut the door. The two come together, and look at Tuan Tran just escape unscathed over the barbed wire and out into freedom. He's done so well, and it's a second position for him after all. And if there's anything the stewards say about this race result, I wouldn't be surprised to see him take the win, not outright, but after maybe a bit of misdemeanors being told.
I got one of the two right. Well, actually, I lie. Tuan Tran, of course, coming home in second. You know, I said it was either going to be Tom Ward or Tuan Tran. Tuan Tran comes home in second. That might well be reversed into Tuan Tran's favour. Here, though, are your final race results here from Sunday night skippies. Iron De Freitas has the fastest lap of the day, but Mikko Nasi wins out in controversial fashion as he was battling out with Tom Ward. Tom Ward comes home in 8th place. Tuan Tran in 2nd, Brian Dewell in 3rd place, Paul Malokas in 4th, and Iron De Freitas rounds out your top 5. Philippe Leibert, Kurt Cram, Tom Ward, Bastien Huisman, and Robert Plumley, they are your top 10. Behind a load of drivers who we didn't really talk about here today because the battle up front was so exciting. Michael Delaval, Rob Adams, Jonathan Boutel, Ryan Griffin, David McDonald, Kane Halliburton, Carl Dronke, Mick Watson, Conor Van Ram, and Fabian Minetri there. They are your top 20, and there is the remainder of the drivers in your field. We will step aside for 2 moments here, ladies and gentlemen, on Racesport TV, and when we come back, some very interesting interviews. We will see you in a moment's time here on Racesport TV and on iRacing Live.
ready, going green. Green, green, green.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2K World Cup, as we have ourselves the chance to talk to a few drivers. Starting off with Arian De Freitas, who has stood by with the driver, the commentator even, of Jake Sperry.
I wish, Will. I wish. Arian De Freitas. Position in the end would become number 5, but it was a battle for the podium, and, well, it all ended in a very, very spectacular fashion.
Yeah. Until that point, great race. Made a mistake when I came out of the pits on second place. I screwed over, what's it called, Mouse corner, I think. So I fall back to 5th, I think. So from there on, it was a draft fest. We kind of caught Twan pretty early on, and then at the end, I looked at it a few times. I had the inside, Philippe at the outside. He left me some room. I jumped off the curb, I think, and ran into him. So it's my fault. Sorry. I wasn't supposed to end this way.
So the room was given, and the words from De Freitas is that he took all the room, and then he decided he wanted a bit more room, and Philippe Bear said no. But in the middle of that race, you know, you had a stage where you were running on your own for a lap, and you were seeing your rivals pit in one after another after another. You got yourself to the front of the field in that situation, and the fact that you hadn't really practiced this, you only had the hour beforehand before that you got yourself into the race. You know, you had to hot lap your way around, and it's so difficult when you've had not much practice to put in that perfect lap time. What was going to your head on that lap before you came in for your stop?
Push, push, or as Hamilton would have said, hammer time.
It's hammer time!
So, no, I figured I could run a little faster. At least if I did a faster lap in my in lap, so I was up on my splits. So I think in the end it was a good decision. Came out second, so it proved to be a good decision. Twan kind of jumped me, but he was pretty close on fuel, I think, and I was pretty safe. So I might have jumped him if I would have taken a bit more risk on fuel. But yeah, in the end it worked out pretty good.
Certainly did, and of course we go from a track which nobody knew that was going to be raced today over to a track which doesn't actually exist anymore, Oran Park, in 2 weeks' time. So the only other figure 8 racing circuit on iRacing in terms of road track racing. So for you, Arian, Oran Park, you know, it is a very, very difficult circuit, the Australian-based circuit. So what's your opinion of Oran Park heading over there in 2 weeks?
I love it.
He loves it.
No, it's just an awesome track. Although it's freaking difficult to overtake there. There's only like 2 spots where you can maybe try and pass it. So qualifying will be key there. I did pretty good last time we went there, but I underfueled, so I had to pit twice. So I have some revenge to take on that.
He certainly does, and well, for a freaking difficult challenge. Iron Freighter, position number 5 today. Could have been a bit more, but thank you very much for joining us. Will, who have you found?
I've got the one, the only Mr. 2K World Cup. Of course, it is Philippe Leber. What I do, it's Philippe Leber, and Philippe, well, yeah, could have been better.
Could have been a lot worse too. I don't know if you saw my pit entry, but there was a very slow car in front of me, and I had to just close my eyes and try to get by, and it worked. But
did that cost you the race?
Oh no, I don't think I lost much time there. But it was so close because I didn't know if he was going to keep the inside or not. But it worked out well. And then I had another hairy moment in turn 2, the long left-hander, where I touched the grass, and that's where I lost the top 4. And so I should be happy with where I ended. Well, if we don't talk about the last corner incident, because that's just unfortunate. But in the end, it was a pretty good race, I think.
Now, this has been a race where people didn't have any time really to prepare, but actually, you saw very clean racing here today. Actually, it seems to be the less people know about the track, the cleaner the racing is.
Yeah, that's possible. People are less secure or less certain that they can hold the line, so they leave a little more margin, I think. All in all, I think it was a very good experiment, and it's something we're definitely going to do again. Maybe we were a little lucky with the track. Mosport is just a fabulous track, and most people know it already, so that might have helped. But still, it was a good experiment.
Couldn't be worse, could have been still some national or something like that. But finished P6 here today. Iran Park, of course, in a couple of weeks' time. We heard Iron De Freighter saying he loves that track. What's your thoughts about it?
Well, I like it a lot too, but it's so hard to pass. It's almost impossible. You have to. So if nobody makes mistakes, it's just a long train from start to finish, and it has to be won in the pit stops and in qualifying, of course.
Well, thank you very much there. Philippe Leber coming home in P number 6 here today. Final thoughts on this race then, Jake?
Just wow. I mean, we had the massive drama at the end, but you know, this series has proven once again that they have champions who can put it up at the highest level, new names coming to the fold, and people who just keep on having those results that get themselves through. Little bit of controversy, but what is life without a bit of controversy? We love it here.
We do love it here. Of course, in 2 weeks' time, we head ourselves over to Oran Park then for the next round. Let's get Barber 2K World Cup. Thank you so much for being a part of this broadcast here this evening. Don't forget, the Apex Infotech Indy Elite Series will round out our treble header this evening. But we'll talk to you all next time. Goodbye.